fucking icebox.
There is no spoon.
What's wrong?
Seriously? Auto-updating now?
General, I won't be able to calculate the right data for the satellite for 49 minutes.
How long till impact?
11 minutes and 44 seconds.
Fuck Microsoft!
Well, they call them interdimensional beings.
He specifically asked for you, sweetheart.
By our powers combined, we give you the Galactic Family Podcast.
Put the phone down.
Hello, my name is Nick Pope, formerly from the British UFO Desk, and you're listening to the Galactic Family Podcast.
It's probing time.
Hey, how's everyone doing in the Galactic Family Podcast world tonight? Yeah, we're getting into it today. It's about what Donald Trump said. Like it got to me, okay? And we'll just we'll start off by saying, thank you to all of our members that are part of the Galactic Family Podcast membership program here for $1. We're thankful for you, and you help us keep going.
100%.
And it's all about what everybody brings to the table. Like that's why we're here tonight.
Cutlery,
So,
mainly.
Go ahead, George.
No, I said cutlery mainly for me. I bring cutlery to the table.
Cutlery. All right. So,
but yeah, okay. How you doing, Jay? Anyway, are you all right, mate?
Man, it's been a day.
It's been a crazy week, isn't it? Crazy few days with the whole UFO UAP phenomena.
Yeah, it has been a crazy one. And for everyone in the back chat, I just put a link up. If you want to come back, join the conversation, you're more than welcome. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about as far as disclosure goes, because it started off with this Mark Christopher, comes out on X and says, a little birdie told me that President Trump is going to come out with UFO disclosure. And I was like, that was about a month ago. And I was a little skeptical. I really was.
It's like, really? And then that started a discussion on, well, is it, like, what if it did happen? What if it could happen? And then people are saying, well, like, would he only do it for political gain? Would it be a nothing burger? These kind of like the community was kind of discussing quite hectic. And then obviously Barack Obama, he didn't actually say anything classified, but then
let's listen to the clip ourselves and we'll find out. Okay. Now first I want to put a shout out, to the Mark Christopher, put this out. This is the first one that got us interested in this podcast we're showing right now.
Hello, and thank you for all your support here on X. I just want to clarify a few things regarding President Trump and UFO disclosure. My source, who I trust implicitly and has been vetted, they have told me that President Trump has written his UFO disclosure speech with his advisors and is set to announce to the world on July the 8th, the anniversary of the Roswell crash, that we are not alone. Okay. However, I do qualify this, and I did this in the original interview, which was missed out, that President Trump is a maverick and he does what he wants when he wants. So maybe it will come sooner. I'm going to organize a press conference where we'll go through all the facts, all the documents, and my source will be revealed. And
so how long ago was that clip uploaded, or when was that? It's a couple of weeks back now.
Ago, right?
A couple of weeks back or so. My question would be, in the light of hindsight now, knowing what we know, when gentleman's source came out with the information that Trump was writing his disclosure speech, did they even know that Obama was going to say what he said? And do you think Trump was just waiting for his opportunity to kind of say, "Oh, okay, now I can talk about it because one of my political enemies."
Trump's always wanted to be first. Like, he wants his name cemented in history, right? You can see that all over. Like,
oh yeah, he wants his face on. Was it the monument? Like
everywhere. But I don't know. Like, you got me going on this other thing too. Like, my mind split on this one.
Okay.
Is the Epstein files a distraction from the UFO?
I'm not taking ownership
of
disclosure. I'm not taking ownership of that. That was a friend of ours who mentioned that, and it's like, hold on, yeah, this is an interesting one. Is it everything appears to be connected in some form, right the way down to kind of
even the technology is discussed in the Epstein files, the drop, like, technology wise,
Atlantis, ESP, telepathy,
the propulsion stuff, the finding the burial site of Gilgamesh and everything. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? But all right, let's get to the next clip here. This is the one with Obama, and we'll dissect it and see if he said anything classified.
Yeah.
I want to do a little bit of a lightning round here because it's not often I'll get access to the President of the United States. So a couple questions here. Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
You see the way he looked at his coffee there?
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Yeah. Little tell.
The United States. Conspiracy. And they hid it from the President of the United States.
Yeah.
This enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the
United
States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens? Who is there a person that you most want to meet that you haven't met yet?
I'll be honest with you.
Oh my gosh.
And after that, he clarified his statement, saying he only meant that in the vastness of the cosmos, that the possibility of life is...
Yeah, but the problem was, though, before he clarified, President Trump came out. So
Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified
it's a nod.
information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No.
He took it out of classified information.
Now, at this juncture right here, the UK reporter has said that Trump has, according to his sources, already written the disclosure speech. So when he's on Air Force, presumably this is Air Force One, and this reporter now says the word alien, like from an eye, I don't know if you like, have we spoken much about eye accessing cues? Up and to the left, up and to the right, created, not created, depending if you're right-handed, obviously. Micro movies. But the key word there is alien, and you can see him click into, okay, I need to come back, have a pop at my political enemy, and also I'm getting ready for this. I think that the more this saga, if we can call it a saga, continues, or charade continues, saga I think is probably better. The more I think I want to know who the source is for that UK reporter, right?
Yeah, man. Because, like, what he did say, he took it out of classified information. So what did he take out of that classified information? Was it the fact that not all presidents are read into the program?
I don't know how it works. Like, are there levels of classification above the commander in chief? Is he gonna be read in on, waived special access programs? Is he, is there a level of, is there a layer or layers beyond an two-term president, a two-term front-facing figure? When you consider the career civil servants or career administration staff.
Well, it depends, George. It depends. Okay, now this is where I'm gonna make an intersection here. Okay. Let's say I'm the president, right? But I don't associate with the the hardliners that want all this money and stuff. I don't associate with them that much. So they're not going to read me into these programs, right? Okay. But what if they have to deal with me after the presidency? Trump being Trump, right? They are still going to have to deal with him after his presidency. He's not going to go away. He's got all this money. He's putting his name out there everywhere. He's getting Gaza Peace Council, this, that. He's putting his face out there everywhere. They're going to have to deal with him after he's president.
Yeah, and of course, ex-presidents of the United States get afforded certain perks and benefits as well as doing podcasts and being asked about aliens like Barack Obama. And I think you're right. I think, or is it, or maybe it's a case of if you don't ask, we don't tell. If you don't need to know, or you don't know that you need to know, we're not going to say anything because you're too busy. If you're too busy, then you only need to know what we're saying is important.
But it's like you said, they're only there 4 years. They're a temporary position unless they get reelected. So,
well, even then, it's only 8 years, and you consider somebody goes in at 17, 18, and then exits, retires at 65, 70.
32 is the age that they can be. They could apply to go for presidency here.
No. I mean about the career administration team. Like your staffers, the people. It doesn't matter what administration comes in. These are the people who are neutral, secular, hopefully. Although we've been hearing things about non-secular individuals within, military ranks and things, saying, like you want to stop this demonic nonsense, because whatever. But what I mean is just like you become president, you're going to have a briefing file. You're going to have a daily briefing. That briefing is condensed out of all of your networks that you have. So you're informed of what is happening on that particular day or what's coming up next.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is those briefing statements are prepared by people who don't get voted in, apply for the position, and are there for their entire career, and they see multiple presidents come and go.
Yeah.
They're not left or right. They're not like a Democrat or Republican. And once those are the interest for me. Those are. I mean, yeah, obviously, if the president comes out and makes a statement in July, that's amazing news.
That would be huge.
But I think it is a bit of a distraction considering what's happening elsewhere on the planet at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It could be. Now, there's also another one where Trump was, asked, and he says, "I have access to the UFOs and body."
I've never seen that clip. That's the first time I've seen that clip. It's quite telling. In many ways. was that after the Air Force One announcement that he was going to declassify this? Okay, so that's like a dissection there. I did see a video clip. I don't think we've got it on screen of the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, Department of War.
Don't think I have that one.
He was effectively, just a synopsis on that. He was being asked, about the UFO files being disclosed, and he basically just says, "Stand by, just like we're on it." If there's and I think to paraphrase Mr. Hegseth, if there's anything there, we'll release it to you. But then we've heard that before, haven't we? So
exactly, and I mean, and then we have thank you to UAP James. Laura Trump comes out with news about releasing the UFO and alien file.
Who is Laura? Is that one of Donald Trump, President Trump's daughters? Is it, or is it a previous wife or something? Or I don't know. Who's?
No, not previous wife.
I don't know. Look how many this guy's got, right?
Oh gosh.
For decades about whether or not UFOs exist, what the American government knows. And so I think at this point President Trump is saying, you know what, let's let the American people see what we know. And I think that's a really important thing. This is the most transparent president in American history. There is no doubt about it. You never have to wonder what this president is thinking. He's also been very forthright with things.
I will say, you don't have to worry about what this president's thinking. He will tell you what he's thinking.
And you don't have to worry about that after he said what he's thinking.
Like all of these files that previous presidents never would have said, let's release them. And I think this is...
That is correct. No other... Okay, I will give it to that. I will give it to Trump, hands down. He is the only president so far that has said release the files. Obama could have done it, and down the line, nobody has said it but him.
Why now?
Maybe it's time. I mean, wasn't there a countdown or 80 years or something in the background that I've been hearing? Like it was.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about the Roswell, New Mexico, 1947, and it could be 2027 when those files are released. Right? When you think about, actually, a good question to you, Jay. Do you think if these files get disclosed, released, even if they're redacted, or in the redaction, we already know that it can be more telling than if you left it, open for interpretation. But do you think that these file release will be relatively quick, or do you think it will be looking at 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year?
It's going to be longer than that.
You think longer?
I mean, you're talking. You have to go into DoD systems. You have to go now. Here's why it's going to take so long. Okay. During my time in my last unit, the 204th Military Intelligence Area Reconnaissance Unit down in Fort Bliss, Texas, I was around the SCIF a lot, which was near our airfield. Everybody that had confidential information, that it was, say you were the confidential informant, or you got this information, George, right? It's your information, right? You are the informant that got it, that went over there, that came back. That's your information, right? You're in the system, you're government employed. Now that's your baby. That follows you around in your classified nature. Okay. Now someone wants to look at that file, they have to come to you. And now that file's in the SCIF and it says George on it. And they have to go, hey, nope, wait, we have to ask the original classifiers of this file if they and how to declassify. So you have to go down every single file for every single holder of that classified information. You're a holder now. Okay, you hold it. Now you have to go down every single bit. Every single holder has to declassify their information to the department, and then the department then will declassify out.
Right.
So it's all micromanaged. It's going to take years.
Yeah.
Years. Okay. Years. If everything does come out, which I'm not saying they're not deleting files as we speak. Now that you said this.
Do you feel it's going to be like another blue book, like a debunking of like there's nothing to see, you know, there's a couple of things we don't understand, but or do you think this is what they, you know, an open situation where actual truth could come out, like from?
I think truth is going to come out, but I don't know if it's going to be what we're looking for. Like in the UFO community, really, what is going to convince you, George, that aliens exist?
Well, I think you know, one of our guests we've had on a couple of times has been Paul Ruiz, combat photographer and investigator and proponent of, you know, various things, and he in his words, with the amount of books that he's read, he says disclosure's already taken place. It's in print. It's just so I've been musing about this. If disclosure has already taken place in print media, like books and statements and all the rest of it, are we just in an education phase at the moment, right? And what I mean by that,
re-education phase
or re-education phase, yeah. And so it's kind of like, there's a percentage of the population who have zero interest in this topic whatsoever. You know, it's almost like a so what? They're here, okay, aliens are here, that's great. So what? There's UFOs in the sky. So what? I still have to go to work. I still have to, you know, use the bathroom. I still have to get my food from the supermarket. So what? You know, there's going to be a percentage of the population where it has ramifications for theology. So that's your religious. We've recently in the UK had a Bank of England contingency planner say, if aliens, you know, are verified as being, you know, absolutely real, could that have a knock-on effect on the money markets internationally? Right. So I mean, like that's when the Bank of England has a report given to it on the status of aliens. Well, you know, hit them in the wallet. It sounds to be like there could be a few ripples here. So,
well, I mean, look at what happened when Trump said, "I'm now going to declassify." You know, I want everything declassified, and you know that you know, we're getting to that point, but it's like after he said that, it's like, now what?
Yeah. I mean, I do remember the Mar-a-Lago fiasco with the borrowed, or well, he was president, so he could just take classified documents out from a vault and take them to a private residence. And to paraphrase President Trump, you know, he can declassify by thinking about it.
Yes, I remember him saying that. Let's continue this real quick.
Probably along the same vein.
Laura, give us a little bit of color from inside the family. I assume you guys have to ask him about this. And I've seen your comments that apparently he's got a speech locked and loaded on extraterrestrial life. What's that about?
Well, listen, we have, kind of like Dana just said, I think we've all been very curious, but I will say, even as my father-in-law, he has never confirmed for any of us in the family whether he knows anything or not. And maybe that's the mark of a great president. Now he's saying, well, let's release it to the American people. But no, I don't have any inside knowledge. I wish I did. I wish I could say Area 51 is something very special. Let's all meet out there and see it. But I'm curious, like every other American citizen, to find out what the government knows. And I think this is just another area where it'll make people feel, you know, more in line with this president and more like they can trust our federal government, where for so long, for so many decades, it felt like there was something kind of being held back. This president saying, let's put it all out there. There has been.
So let's put it all out there, she says. But that's the daughter-in-law. That's not Trump. That's and I checked that with what Popstar said. You know, that's true. Can you trust everything that's coming out of the government?
That's quite a deep philosophical question, isn't it? You know,
like they've buried it for so long. It's like, now who is actually going to trust that this information is credible?
Yeah, it's, you know, would it have any greater or lesser impact if, you know, let's think of Lithuania in Northern Europe. Like if Lithuania came out with its UFO files and the president of Lithuania stood up and said, "Here's our files and here's everything we have," would it have the same impact as the United States of America? I think we often think in tribal terms, and it's always the big, you know, the superpowers. China, Russia, USA, India, you know, and Little Britain, which
Little Britain
punches well above its weight.
And then all of a sudden we get boom.
What's this one? Okay. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. Yeah.
Okay. We got it straight from him, but is that now? When is the order coming though? That's a tweet or a post or something.
I think it's been, the executive order has been signed and Pete Hegseth is on it now. It's like, so
nice.
But and Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, effectively said, you know, stand by. We're going to work on this ASAP. We're working on it, you know, fast. But whether that's another fob off, it could be. But I you know, your time, you think it could be years and years.
I think it could be years and years because of the fact, like I said, that there are handlers of classified information and there's departments that have classified information. If you're talking about, well, you go through DOD, okay, cool. DOD doesn't have that many files because they're all out with handlers of the classified information. That actually, that's their classified information. They're just letting you see it at the times that they determine you are able to see it. Like you tell me, no, George, that I can't see your information in a skiff or something. If it was in there, I wouldn't be able to view it. I'm not allowed any at all.
Yeah. Information management within secure compartmentalized.
Yes. And if I'd like to, and now say I even see it, I still can't take it out or declassify it yet. I have to ask you first to declassify it.
Yeah,
because you might have to, you know.
It seems like quite a convoluted method. It seems like quite a convoluted mechanical structure.
They do it on purpose.
It's designed that way to compartmentalize the information, to keep, you know, to keep need to know as important as it is, but it does feel like you know, there must be like a better chain of command. But then Donald Trump's mentioning deep state again, like there's guardians and kind of all these little cabals and working groups and things.
You're always going to have mention of a deep state anywhere you look. That's what I think.
Yeah. Excuse me a second. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. So
there we go.
Then we've got Representative Eric Burleson coming out and saying David Grush told him that Trump was also briefed on Nordic and gray aliens.
So what Grush has told me, this is what blew my mind, and what he said that happened with Trump. And I'll just tell you this, and just again, I don't know that. I want to preface this by saying this is not what I believe. This is what I've been told. Okay. He said that the Nordic people or the Nordic aliens are like a few hundred years more advanced than we are, but they're not super advanced. They're not like he said the Greys, whatever is sending the Greys is extremely advanced, like thousands and thousands of years more advanced than us. Because
sounds like we're dealing with different species here on Earth, not just
well, that would make sense. I mean, like if you're gonna blow the whistle on one alien archetype, if you want to call it that, species of one alien species, then it stands to reason that there's going to be multiple species in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you know, like they made contact with us, but then what made contact with them, and then another group made contact with them, who made contact with them, who made contact with us, and through them, these guys are coming in, and so it could be like an international airport.
It could be a junction point as well.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
It's doing all the anti-gravity stuff, all the crazy, all this crazy stuff that's very highly advanced. And a lot of it is what he says with the Greys is psionic. So they basically don't have physical interfaces. They're using their mind, and that there's an interface that picks up thought.
Yep, my favorite movie.
And also, just a little shout out to Dave Siegel and the Naki Logic earbud neural interface system that is online with us in a few weeks. No, actually, in tomorrow, isn't it? Is it tomorrow or 28th?
Yeah, tomorrow it's on.
Yeah, okay. Just for the viewers there, if you want to learn about the latest in mind interfaces with your anti-grav systems, we will be helping promote Mr. Siegel. And winner of the Consumer Electronics Show 2026 Best Innovation Award.
Yeah. Yeah, George, that's going to be a good one, especially like the Neuralink system that Elon Musk has is you have to have surgery. This non-surgical means of communicating and controlling your environment.
Yeah. Show, I think, when are you scheduled to start that one, Jay?
Oh, that one. Let me double check my calendar here real quick. That one is scheduled for. Let me make sure it is for tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow at 4 p.m.
That's 4 p.m. EST. That's 9 p.m. UK. 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time.
I am glad that.
But yeah, I mean, like what Eric Burleson, he's congressman, isn't he? He's not a senator, Congressman Eric Burleson. Congressman, yeah. What he's saying there is that the kind of mind machine interface is way more advanced with the gray aliens than it is with the Nordic type aliens.
I'm thinking Nordic as ocean based.
I don't know, man. I mean, like,
and I'm thinking I have the same thing, that I was thinking of before is that, okay, during the great cataclysms of the earth, supposedly things were wiped out on the surface, right? Supposedly, maybe they weren't. Maybe these civilizations, like different tribes of Indians have said, like the Hopi and everything about the ant people that saved them, they dug in the great time of cataclysm. And now that they're seeing, oh my God, life has returned to the surface, now they come back up and they start to interact. That's the ones that are only a couple hundred years ahead of us.
I just think, like,
Atlanteans, yeah, there you go.
If I've had a couple of experiences, as you know, with what I deem to be an alien contact, but in humanoid form, walking around like you or I. So there seems to be some kind of like imitation or you know, be it hybridization program, these kind of things, or the ability to change your view depending on how you're being observed. So, yeah, I mean, we all go into a town center, village center, city center, and we see, you know, tens, hundreds, thousands of people walking around. We tend not to day see, you know, diminutive gray aliens skipping around in the supermarket. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not you, so I can only go by what I know. I think there's been I've had a couple of experiences which have maybe go, you know.
That was so good.
Which
that
I
was
can't,
so good.
Which I can't account for. I can't account for it.
Oh.
And I've spoken to a few people about them, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, at this point, you know, Congressman Eric Burleson is saying, well, I don't believe this, but this is what I was told. And like, who told them? Well, it was Dave round the back of the bike shed smoking cigarettes. I think there were cigarettes, but somebody said it smelled a bit funny, you know.
What do you think, George? So we have the ones here on Earth that are hundreds of years ahead of us, right? Then we have the ones that aren't on Earth that left. They are interdimensional beings because they're thousands of years ahead of us.
Right? Yeah. And then plasmoid interstellar dimensional creatures from the future, and every variation thereof. I'd be happy just by having three-dimensional this timeline extra. I was happy with extraterrestrial and terrestrial. I was happy with that. And then this whole ultra-terrestrial thing comes in.
Interdimensional, ultra-terrestrial,
hyperdimensional, and what's, you know, and it's just like, look, can we just focus on one extra outside of the planet? I think,
you know what, George, I'm gonna add another one in there: hyperspherical geometry, dimensional,
non-Euclidean geometry. Yes, it's a personal. Yes, not the non-Euclideans. Have you met the non-Euclideans?
You're gonna make me choke on my coffee.
If you've met a non-Euclidean, they're not hip to be square.
Boy! All right, let's continue on here.
Geometry keeps you in shape. Yeah.
But well, if anybody wants to join the back chat, more than welcome.
Come on, Popstar, step up.
The link is up here on the show.
Come on.
Jump up on stage. Let us know what you think about the show, about what's going on with disclosure in your eyes. What do you think? Is the president going to disclose or not?
And then that and that's how they operate these vehicles, is out of psionic. But the Nordic people somewhat resemble humans,
and they use
and they have been experimenting with crossbreeding with humans. And he says some of them, that there are aliens that are crossbreeds living in the world.
You know what? You know who is a good person to ask about this, George? Our good friend, Dr. Max.
Dr. Max, yeah. What happens? Like, if Dr. Max is tuned in, literally no disrespect whatsoever. But what happens if Dr. Max is part alien and he's just hoodwinking us further? Could be.
But what happens if Dr. Max is an alien trying to get the real information out?
Yeah. Like some kind of
super secret.
But yeah, no, I can't. My brain can't think of like ultra terrestrial, interdimensional. I have to kind of go terrestrial, human species, and then extraterrestrial outside. That's not to say the possibility of time traveling.
Popstar is that's what she told you.
Yep. Okay.
Stay in chat.
She's
love you, Popstar.
It's all right. Chicken is good.
Chicken is good.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I go, okay, do they know that they're a crossbreed, or do they, like, how would you know that they are a crossbreed? and he didn't have an answer for that. Like he didn't know if they knew what, but he said that the briefings he's had talked about them, and he said when Trump was briefed on this topic,
when Trump was briefed on this,
because Trump finally had a briefing, and he was in the middle of impeachment, like he was in the middle of being impeached.
That was the first term.
So he's going through that, and then he had like this existential briefing that just kind of rocked his worldview. He joked in the briefing whenever they said that there are these half breeds. He joked that Adam Schiff
must be one of them. Oh
but
my God!
The joke was on him. Adam actually is. That's why he's called Adam.
Oh my God, that's too funny. So he was briefed on the subject, though. Okay, that. Ooh.
So he's been briefed on the subject of aliens, interplanetary or ones that are here and crossbreed. We need better terminology. I don't like the term crossbreed, and I don't like the term.
I like
hybrid's okay. I like hybrid.
Hybrid's okay, but a hybrid of something, yeah. But
feels positive.
Like interdimensional planetary beings from the spherical, multi-causal dimensional space of space-time.
Yeah, that sounds like my hometown.
Oh gosh. So and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get hold on here. We get Lou Elizondo coming out after.
I've been hearing a bit of hate. I just want to clarify my position. I've never physically met Lou Elizondo. I don't know his personal story in total. He's a private individual now. What I do know is he did a lot of public service.
Yeah.
And you can rip that career to pieces, or you can, however you want. It's up to you. But the fact is, he has served, and he takes that service. He seems to be, I don't want to use the
He takes that. Anal retentive about.
He's patriotic.
Service.
He's a patriotic. He's a patriotic individual. I mean that not in a negative sense. I mean that as in he'd put his life down for the greater good of the people of the United States of America.
Plus, I've heard good things. I've heard really good things. From Gene. Gene talks to Lou a lot. We talk to Gene, and he has nothing but good things to talk about him. He's down to earth, he knows what he can say and not say. Okay. And I've been there. With, personally.
I think he's made a couple of boo-boos, and
everybody does.
Yeah. If it was consistently, if it was like every opportunity, a consistent mistake that was picked apart by the community in seconds, then you'd go, okay, like Lou, probably this isn't for you. But yeah, I think it speaks to our humanity to show forgiveness to people. The introduction of the word psyop and counterintelligence into the discourse. People want to take it to like a game of 4D chess.
Oh, I know.
Which is fine. I mean, I'll go 5D chess. I'll say that. Okay, so we've got human intelligent agencies. What about the aliens who are here now? They might have their own intelligence agencies, and then has anybody considered the alien counterintelligence program? Right? Because yeah. Let's make it even more complicated. Or we can take it on face value and just leave it there.
I don't have a mallet big enough to beat my brains out with that information. Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, like think about it. If aliens are here, have been here, and are visiting here, and maybe have been here for thousands of years, one, they'd have infiltrated like a mole into our human networks of understanding and maybe fed us information or key points in history. But not only that, they may have their own internal like an alien intelligence or counterintelligence program set up way before humans did, right? So how do you solve that one, right? I don't know.
That's a
Well, if you think about infiltration from a human perspective, like I don't really want to use the word sabotage, but let's just say that you wanted to sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Then if you can infiltrate the banking sector, the legal sector, right? Immediately, if you've got your people in those areas, you have quite a lot of power just for influencing the overall outcome of those nations that you wish to kind of like play with.
A huge amount of power, actually. Yeah.
So I've jokingly been on record as saying that when if and hopefully it won't, because it's a lot of people's lives, if the financial system collapses, you know that pyramid skyscraper in London, you know, the little pyramid on top that opens up and a little UFO comes out with a guy in a suit with a briefcase of cash, right? It's like right, yeah, it's like aliens are in the banking sector, mate. They always have been.
Well, after this this topic came out, right? After President Trump came out with that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like,
oh no, you're good. You're good. We had a good topic going there.
But Lou Elizondo, I wanted just to preface saying I don't people's arguments that he's a disinformation agent, that he's this, he's that. I don't really like my personal opinions. I don't really care about that. I'm still interested in what Lou has to say.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, there's always going to be things that he can't say because of the fact that he's still under certain orders not to say things, so he can't say certain things.
Yeah, and that must be frustrating for him and everyone else around him.
I guarantee you it's frustrating for him because he's sitting there and he wants to say it, but he can't because he'll get himself in trouble. He has to.
I think he said it like if we're really studying his sentences that he's using and his paragraphs that he's using and his phrases that he's using, there's plenty there. Even if it's said in a roundabout kind of way without saying directly what he wants to be able to say but he can't say it because of the agreements and his clearances and so on and so forth and his obligations.
Yep. But you had a good point too. The one day when we were talking was,
oh wow, cool.
The books.
Yeah.
Books that are put out as fictional that nobody looks at. They might hold little bits of truth throughout it that you can pick apart, like Lou's or Nick Pope's books or whoever.
Yeah. I mean, certainly Nick Pope has been on record, as far as I'm aware, saying that when he releases a book about fact, he has to run it by various powers that be to make sure there's no state secrets given away in it.
Yeah.
But if some of the things get like taken out from his factual books, he said sometimes, you know, if you write it up as science fiction, you can get away with a lot more, which kind of makes me want to buy Nick Pope's science fiction books to kind of go, let's deep dive and read between the lines here.
Just to see what he's saying. It might not be the, tentacle of whatever. It might be the psionic transfer of information, But this is what Lou Elizondo said right after that, the statement came out.
There are people in the government and
thank you, Matt. Good Trouble Show for the clip.
Private contractors right now who have been sitting on this information for decades. What would be your message to them right now?
I better come clean. I would, if I were you, you're having a bullseye painted right on you right now. Things could get very uncomfortable for you both professionally and personally if you don't comply. We have rules and laws in this country, and then if the president gives you an order and it's a lawful order, you better execute. Period. Full stop. And if you don't, at that point, you're the enemy. In my opinion, you are enemy of the American people. You're enemy of the state.
Wow. So comes out with that statement and just says, slamming it down. This is what I like. Okay. He says, now I wasn't allowed to talk about this stuff before. I couldn't talk about it. He probably still can't because he's, but now it's an order. These people have to declassify, or he's saying they're an enemy of the state. And really they would be at that point, I think.
Jay, you've obviously kind of had military service. Lou Elizondo's background, are those flash patches or are those morale patches? Or
the patches that come off of probably his dress blue uniforms off the side.
Okay.
They're unit patches.
Up the top right is Area 52. So there's a Chris Ramsey Area 52 patch up there next to what looks like a bulldog.
Well, the ones by his actual flag there, those are all unit patches.
Do you think that's, is that something you would exchange if you serve with those units? Would you exchange yours for theirs, that type of thing? Or
no.
do you think these are all his units that he's been in?
Those are all his units he's been in. That's his commemoration wall there. His awards are on the wall. That's what I have on.
I'll be interested. Obviously, I'm not military, but I'll be interested to know what units those actually are.
Me too, actually.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a dive on that later.
Me too. There's an Air Force one back there. I can tell that top right is an Air Force one.
Yeah, with the wings and the
bottom left, I think, is Armor Division, maybe.
Okay.
Or bottom right. I mean. And I'm not sure about the other two. The spear. There's a spear. Or looks like a trident on top of.
It looks like a symbol for psionic, like PSI, right? A trident.
That's that could be the there's a psionic branch actually. There's a there's a branch of military intelligence operatives that work out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a psionic intelligence command that is there in Fort Bragg.
Okay.
I found that out when I was there. My commander from my last unit that I served in Germany, he got promoted and got sent there and as a major and then took over that unit. So I was pretty good with them, but it's the same thing. Like they'll tell you as much as they can.
That's crazy. Like that. That's for the general population, for the layperson listening, the layperson watching this. That's quite a revelatory statement you've just made there, Jay.
They don't always do psionic abilities and stuff like that. We're talking about like psionics, as in. When we're going into Fallujah or whatever in Iraq, and now we need it's called force of entry. When you're sitting there and you want to blast them with music, and you're like, so they can't tell where you're coming from, when you're coming from. You just blast the whole area with music. Okay, huge music with these giant, things. That's a form of the psionics that happen too. When we're in Fallujah, we're blowing huge music at these buildings, and they can't think right.
Well, I'll tell you what. After the clip, because I know we've after the clip and after we've finished the show, we'll get like some some pictures on that. I'm also interested to know what his favored sidearms are. Right? I mean, he's got some binoculars there and various different caliber pistols and a snowboard.
Yeah, I see that.
What's on the shelf? Is there a big
that is not a position you want to be in. I think we have a chance here. Hopefully we don't villainize people as they start to come forward. I suspect there's going to be a lot more whistleblowers now coming forward. I think we need to maintain pressure to ensure that there are commensurate protections for whistleblowers who want to come out now, because now I think they're put between a rock and a hard place, right? Either comply with the president or don't. And if not, face the consequences. So I think you're going to see some nervous people coming out saying, okay, look, I want to comply, but I also, don't want to be, put in front of a proverbial firing squad, so to speak. So
And he's not kidding about that. Okay, like proverbial firing squad, meaning like you give out classified information and you're done. Like I said, you are the holder, George, of that classified information, right?
You don't want the George file, seriously.
I'm just saying, like, if you hold it and you are the holder, you have to determine what gets declassified off of that to go to forward. So it's like it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility as well.
Still need to figure that out. I think there are ways we can do it. I think we need to incentivize these people. I don't think we need to villainize them. Yes, secrets have been kept for too long. Yes, people have been lied to. Yes, people have been deceived, and maybe even worse. And we as a people need to be prepared for that. We need to recognize that maybe extreme measures have been taken in order in the past to keep people silent. It wouldn't be the first time. But with that said, we have a very rare opportunity here. We have a very rare opportunity to come together as a people and to tell this current administration, A, how much we appreciate this decision, and B, how we expect to have results finally.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, Lou is going on a theatre tour. He's got a theatre tour coming up. As far as I'm aware, like the details of which are online. People could say that he's grifting, maybe, but he's not. You know, if you think about it, as after the Age of Disclosure film, which I'm sure a lot of us have watched, he left his position, forfeited continuing service to come out of the shadows to bring the information. And I think if we're going to knock people for trying to make a bit of cash on the side,
well, he's got a family. I can't, you know.
I couldn't trying to put myself into Lou's shoes, Lou's shoes, right? It's like Lou's shoes, heavy, right? He's got a family. He's in the limelight, kind of individual who maybe for a very long period of time wanted to keep out of the limelight, not be in the light. Just
exactly
be a private individual, go about their business. And now he's commenting, he's on the circuit, and he's full on. I know he I've seen interviews where he's traveling from state to state, airport to airport, talking to people, giving interviews, podcasts, and all the rest of it. And it's tiring. He's just it's tiring. He's lost a bit of weight. Okay. Maybe that's for the better.
Out, man.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Really does. When you're sitting there traveling all that time, like you said, and going to different places, trying to get the information out, like we are here. We've had a bunch of people that are contacting us. Thank you for contacting us, guys, on LinkedIn. We have a couple guests that are, that we're talking with in the background, like one guy coming up. I won't mention his name till we actually get him on here, but talking about once of a lifetime energy systems. I want more people to come out. I want more people to be more open, come out more.
It's tricky.
Not get into that, like, oh, you said something now about this. Now that one piece was classified. You might have said an oops during your speech. Now you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like people walking on eggshells, and kind of rightfully so. And just to take a Ross Coulthard line, there is national security elements there.
Yes, I'm with Whistle Mike. People got to stop bitching about people making money. That's what we were saying. Me and George were just saying that.
Yeah.
Lou's got a family. Lou has to take care of himself. Like, I'm not knocking him for doing the books. I'm happy he's doing it because, hey, he is getting the information out there how he can.
I mean, like, you know, he could have been hired by a private corporation as a corporate espionage counterintelligence guy, right? He doesn't necessarily have to be, but I think that kind of private sector work doesn't sit well with individuals who have done a lot of public service.
Yeah. Yeah, John, we were talking about that before as well. John Melendez. We can expect to see slow change on the release. We were just talking about that as well. Like,
well, I'm hopeful. I try and be the glass is half full. I would like to see some kind of initial release, not necessarily the whole thing, but like in stages. And I imagine, in a way, instead of just releasing all the files in one go, redacted or otherwise, or here's everything we've got. If it's an actual truth disclosure and it's not a Project Blue Book type of like debunking philosophy, if it's actually, or even if I would imagine it would be done in stages. So here's part one, get everyone up to speed. Oh, that's really interesting. Huge things to discuss. Lots of dissection, lots of regurgitation. Right, everyone ready? Now stage two, get ready for the Spielberg film. It's out soon. You know, right? You know.
now that George is on here, he can explain his outing whistling Mike.
I was very hungover.
I didn't want to say it.
Alcohol is chemically speaking, it is a solution.
Oh my gosh! So that's the
truth. See, I'm being truthful. You know, like it's just a bit worse for them.
Whistling like, yeah, George had a good time. He just had too much of a good time, I guess.
Props and shouts out to John over in Taiwan. How's it going? One day I'd like to visit the monkey temple and learn some monkey kung fu in Taiwan. Yes, indeed, some real stuff one day. But that guy doesn't teach really, but he does kind of. But you have to be in the right. I'll share with you later. Monkey style kung fu, man. Yeah.
But so Lou comes out with that. Okay. But we're still getting blocked from access to, like I said, dude, what did I say about us getting blocked, right?
Congress,
me and you
sitting on the committee.
Oh
no, members of Congress, getting blocked.
Oh yeah. I think the gatekeeping is real, and this is what's the phrase that came out the other day? Super government, super state, like deep state, but like people answering to their own command structures, not actually to the command structure that is in place for fear of whatever, I don't know. But I think it's like, if you look at the congressmen as a whole, they'll be like, well, we'll have you. We can trust you with that because, you're doing these defense contracts on the side. We'll have you because you're quite into this. And no, not you. We don't like you. So you can't have. And it seems to be cherry picking in a lot of ways.
That's exactly how it is, George, because you know what? I'll touch on this real quick before we play it. You cherry pick how it is. Okay. Like, you have, we were saying in the beginning of the podcast, you have a president there for 4 years, right? It's a temporary position. This is what every industry member is thinking because they're there their entire life. But there's one but. If you have to deal with that such president after their presidency, for some reason, then they have pull. And they could still get these things coming to them and get information out because then they're embedded. If they embed themselves in like he is doing, I guarantee you he will be able to get the information out. But just how long is it going to take him ripping these papers away from these industry guys to get this information out? That's my synopsis on it.
I think it's going to be done in stages. The first stage may be a small amount of documentation and then building up over time. And I'm hopeful that it's going to be out within a year to commemorate the 80 years. See, this is the thing where we're talking about the MJ-12, like the arrangement between aliens and US government saying, well, you can have an exchange of technology, you can continue abducting, but maybe the proviso was after 80 years, you have to tell humans that they're not alone in the universe.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the wall that we're going to hit in 2027. I'm not making a prediction. I'm not a prophet. I'm not selling a book. Like UFO of, Planet Dog or whatever. I don't know. I'm not into that, but I'm just saying it seems the timing on this seems really strange. Right now, the announcement timing is strange. Inside chat, Yellow Tommy Tanker is explaining about, kind of like more the geopolitical side of it. And never forget the people standing up are politicians. And, Nixon lied in front of everyone. Right, you don't have to go that far in the historical record to find a politician who tells a few fibs, aka Porky Pie's lies. Right, it's part of the territory. If you can get away with it with a fib, so it's like, well, the timing of that with current situations in the Middle East and elsewhere on the planet. It seems to be a little bit like, hey, look at this, everyone, and it's like, obviously ourselves in the community of UFO, alien, UAP, and all the rest of it are like, you say what? And then we're all going around to other people going, well, told you so, but we haven't actually been told anything yet.
Well,
soon.
You turned my head upside down, though, George. I'm still thinking about it, okay? Is that, okay, if Trump was starting on this disclosure, right, months ago, let's say he was starting in months
ago.
Yeah.
Because like
started disclosure months ago, and then all of a sudden somebody that how Trump says the deep state was like, we have to stop Trump from coming out with this disclosure. And then they start releasing the Epstein files in the middle of the disclosure that Trump wanted to have. And he's like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Is the Epstein files a ploy away from disclosure? You got me on that one.
I'm gonna tread carefully here because it's people can get triggered very easily by words, and I'm just thinking, look, my straw poll with people in the community, and I'm not going to mention names. It's like, okay, you want these guys locked up, or do you want UFO disclosure? Everybody says these guys locked up first, right? Clear up your own backyard, right? It's the media may divert. There may be a missing news anchor's mother. There may be a hockey team drinking alcohol with Kash Patel from the FBI. There may be all these things that would, like, they're desperately trying to throw away, and then people are like, no, release the files. It's the mantra at the moment, and long may it continue. And I want to see people in orange jumpsuits being taken away. But I think the reality is, we're also very easily programmed by programming of news networks, television, YouTube, and everything like that. And I think if we're focusing on that, somebody said, what if the Epstein files are a distraction from the UFO files, right? So it's like, look at this, but don't look at this. I like flip it around. And I considered it for a while, and I thought, okay, it's a possibility, but I think they're more kind of connected in a lot of ways. I think there could be, like within the UFO UAP topic, we have abduction scenarios, we have missing 411, we have missing 411, people disappearing in national parks, the lists of which governments won't hand over unless you give them $1 million, right? So it's just like, okay, why aren't these being tracked? What are happening to these people, and where are they going? And then on the flip side of that, now we've got these, these people are being trafficked all over, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So I think it's more, it's almost as if I think it was, please forgive me, it was Nuticelli. Is it Jeff Nuticelli? No, what's his name? His first name. Tall guy, United States, is a security personnel. Nuticelli had been on record as saying, it's like reality is classified, right?
Yeah.
Because real grown up stuff we're not really ready for yet, but you kind of got to be ready. So we're releasing all this stuff right now. Okay, yeah. Hey, random content. How you doing? Welcome aboard, MacArthur Louison, Louis Saint. If Trump doesn't give us full UFO disclosure, he should be impeached. He'll claim whatever is released is the files, even if he doesn't know what's in them and hasn't read them himself.
I think he'll go with what his staff says that is the files that he told them to go find.
Which is what we were saying earlier about career staffers not necessarily worrying about who's the front man president politically, or.
But the only thing they do worry about, like I said, is do we have to deal with him after the presidency? Yes.
Yeah, or Barack Obama's on the circuit talking. There'll be Trump on the, like selling pizza. I don't know, kind of.
Yep.
God forbid.
But the problem, George, is this.
Congress, if sitting on the committee that you do sit on, if anybody would have some information, presumably it would be you and your colleagues who.
And thank you, UAP James.
Sit on that committee, but you guys have no insight into any of this stuff either.
No, they've kept it from us. And when we've asked questions, they've tried to stop us. When we've tried to put language into bills about disclosure, there are people from government come down and go to the HPSI committee, right? And
what's the HPSI committee?
Well, they drink cocktails
and go to armed services and try to stop that stuff. So, and that was the thing that we found most interesting on the oversight committee, which is if there's nothing there, why are people from the government trying to stop the language? Why did Harry Reid have such a hard time to get language in? Why did Chuck Schumer have such a hard time to get language in? Why did Marco Rubio have such a hard time? If there's nothing there, if it's all fake, if it doesn't exist, why are people in the government trying to stop it from coming out?
I 100,000,000% agree. If there is nothing there, if it's a nothing burger, put it out. But you're trying to stop them from getting these files and introducing these bills, then there has to be something there.
What?
Doesn't mean it's extraterrestrial. It just means there's something there.
Yeah, I think there's already admission. I think, like I said earlier this evening, disclosure has already kind of taken place. We're just in a, let's redisclose again a bit more fervently and let people know. So it's almost like, it feels like we're in an education phase at the moment, if you want to call it that. Loads of great comments in the side live chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and please feel free to give a little, depress the like button gently. Do not smash it. Do not smash your mouse or your tablet or your mobile phone. Please treat your electronics with care. I think we've got Whistling Mike here has got House Intelligence instead of SSCI in the Senate. Great comment from John Melendez here. The neurolinguistic programming, NLP, which we've been subject to, is well documented. There was a video. I don't know if you've got this one on the rotary at the bottom there, Jay. You remember the video that I said download off X?
I do have that one, actually.
Throw it in a little bit, but
I've got that. That's the last bit of. The last 45 minutes or so is going to be on that.
I want to come back to John's comment here. Because again, it feels like all these, we're definitely not doing these programs and these projects, and it's like but I couldn't shred all the paperwork, so we definitely stopped it. And it's like, well, we didn't really stop; we just changed the name. So I'd like to cover that a little bit in a little while. Popstar is upset that she's being fed nothing burgers all the time. What if the reality is there is no spoon, there is no burger?
I mean, I've said that before, that like if they're real now,
I think
is it going to cause more panic? That should be a poll, actually.
I've got a
Is
quote.
it going to cause more panic that there is UFO files, or is it going to cause more panic if they come out and say that's it, there's nothing here?
There are only two options. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. That's an Arthur C. Clarke quote. So either we're totally alone, it's just us, and that's it. Well done. I still say we should try and look after the planet a bit more. There is no planet. There is no B planet, really. And then if we're not alone, it's also terrifying because the technology, the species might be so alien that we've got no real comprehension of what it's thinking or how it's thinking.
Yeah.
I had a bit of an existential crisis today, Jay. I was in a discourse with a friend earlier, and I kind of got this kind of like, I flipped into this frame of mind of like all human endeavor, past, present, and future, is ultimately pointless when you consider the eventual heat death of the universe. I don't know if you've got a solution to it at all. I don't know. Maybe I should just be thankful, have more gratitude for where I am now. But yeah, no, it's an interesting like state of mind to be in. It's like, well, people all want to be influencing and doing these kind of things and so on. It's like, the character of Achilles, you're not going to get. You might get somebody every so often who does something absolutely amazing. Welcome, Coffee Bum. Random content. Come in.
Hey, what's going on, Coffee Bum?
Hey, let me mute the stream because I'm getting the weird
feedback. No worries.
Feedback. Yeah.
Okay, muted. Cool.
All right, so what do you think about all this, Coffee Bum, about disclosure, about what we were talking about, the file getting released slowly? What do you think? Is it going to be slow or fast?
I don't know. I think that they are prepping the stage for anything. If you look at people, it's I think what's happening is that the normal people, the public, is going to have to go through what we've gone through in the last couple of years as UFO people. They're going to have to be introduced to the topic. They're going to have to worry about all the ramifications. They're going to have to look at whether it's a psyop, whether it's not. They're going to have to make a decision on, are these demons, are these angels, are these interdimensionals, are they nuts and bolts craft? Or they're going to have to figure out that maybe there's more than one thing out there that we're looking at. So there's going to be some adjustments that people who don't know anything about the topic are going to have to make. And it's going to be hard on them. They're going to have to struggle with the same ontological shocks that we've gone through over the past couple of years. So I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know. I'm ready for it to change. I'm ready for stuff to change, but is this going to be the thing that changes it? I got no clue. I don't know.
Okay, could we all in this panel here, could we all agree that there will be redactions in the documentation when they're 100%. Released? I'm investing in black ink for 100%. I think black ink.
Well, why is he asking Hitzcliffe to do this when we have Arrow already? We already got Arrow. They're supposed to be doing the same damn thing. It's
Hegseth, he's Department of War, which was Department of Defense, but now they're a Department of War. So is this playing into the threat narrative kind of scenario where we've got like a Secretary of War standing up and saying
that is what I'm seeing. That is what I'm seeing happen. This is the threat narrative timeline that they're going down. It is and it is a threat because they can't control it.
I'm reminded of do you think, like in my mind, the threat narrative kind of started with the aviator Ryan Graves, right? When he's saying he's in a diamond formation, flying very close to other aircraft. It
started before that. It started with Elizondo.
Right. Okay.
Elizondo was around before Graves came out.
Well, it was just the whole mid-air collision threat narrative. Like we could be hit out of the sky by these things, and one zipped in between us and almost took Dave out or whatever. And it's just like, okay, so now we need more defenses to stop these things. Seems to be the narrative that's coming forwards.
Well, Peach Heads, whatever his name is, Hedgehog,
Pete Hedgehog.
Yeah,
I know.
Hedgeman. When the Hedgeman dude was asked that question by that chick the other day, he laughed. He was laughing, and then he got serious and he said, "Well, we got to talk about all domain stuff." So he's talking about space as a domain, and in his mind, that tells me that in his mind, he's worried about whatever is flying around above our heads in extra atmospheric, in space, and that's a concern. And if something's flying around up there, we need, it's going to be no government wants to come out and say that they cannot control their own skies and they cannot keep people from being kidnapped and tortured, and they can't control what's happening in their space. Well, no government wants to say that.
It's like Tim Burchett says in this video clip over here that when these people were when these congressmen and congresswomen went in there to see this information, the non-redacted UFO stuff, they were blown away. And we'll go with this clip real quick.
The classic UFO is the saucer shaped and there's something on top. And I've never seen anything. I've not seen any. Well, I take that back. I've seen things, but that's since I've been in Congress and I'm not allowed to discuss this. I would just hope that the president would disclose everything that I've seen in every skiff I've been in every confidential conversation, every picture I've seen, every video I've seen. I wish that he would release all those.
Would that change the world? I mean, would that change people?
No, I don't think so. I think we just realize that we're one grain of sand in 100 million beaches. And I mean, if you think we're the best that God can do, I think you greatly underestimate God. The classic.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, when faith meets extraterrestrials.
A grain of sand, 100 million beaches. I think he's right. There's billions of planets out there. There has to be other forms of life.
Well, it doesn't even have to be from another planet. It can be something that is part of this earth, part of the life on this earth, and we just cannot see it or control it, and it has more influence over us than we have over it. It's like if we're the fish and they're the fishermen. The fish don't see the boats, they don't see the nets, they don't see the hooks, they see the bait, right?
Yeah.
Or they smell the bait, and then they, but
yeah,
to the fish, the fishermen and the boats, that's kind of like our UFO analogy, right? That I like to use. It's we don't see it. We don't see them.
Do you think, using the analogy of the fish and the fishermen being the UFOs and the phenomena, right? And we don't see the line, we don't see the fishing rod above the water, we just see the bait. How much information have we got about the fish hook and the bait? Do you think we have anything? Do you think we've got information in those archives and the files about those?
Fish can learn. Schools of fish get a little bit smarter whenever you catch one and you throw them back in. They can get a little hook shy.
Okay.
Especially if they're trapped on a pond and they can't go anywhere, and they know that when you walk out there and they hear this or they feel that, they need to get out of there because that means something's going on.
Okay, so there is this in your mind. There's a suspicion, at least, that there is more that these people know about that we down here on street level don't necessarily know about, and that is it
probably they have a lot better instrumentation and a lot better historical control of information than we do as civilians. They have military and civilian instruments that they look at the sky and the earth with, and that we don't know anything about. Not only do the observatories have stuff that they've probably seen, but the observatories are very narrowly focused. They generally look at something they're not looking at the entire sky as a whole and not looking for anomalies in the sky. They're looking for this planet or this thing, and they're trying to focus on that. And if something happens to drive by their window, they just chalk it up as a meteor or anomaly or a bird and go about their business. They don't really look at that. When the Chinese balloon thing happened in the United States, if you guys remember, they spent so much time with their instrumentation looking for high-speed missiles coming from the USSR or coming from China or coming from one of our adversaries, that they then had to adjust all their instrumentation and start taking into account the slower things that were not a high-speed missile coming from there and going towards the target in the United States. When they adjusted their algorithms for search, and they let the people start reporting what they saw, they started paying attention to the anomalies, then they got really freaked out for a while. If you guys remember, they got really, everybody involved with that got freaked out for a minute because they were seeing things that they didn't realize were in the atmosphere or were going down. Slower stuff, lower stuff, not high-speed missiles, not ICBMs, but something else. There's something else in those instruments have captured, and they're not going to tell us about it.
I think. Sorry. If I can just come back very quickly. I know Jay wants to move on with some videos there, but with the Secretary of War Pete Hegseth looking in and telling the reporter, "Stand by. We're looking into the documents that are going to be released under executive order." Right now, something's going to be released. Whether
we don't have an executive order yet.
Oh, right. It hasn't been signed. It hasn't been signed.
It hasn't been created yet.
Right. Okay.
That's what I thought.
So there's no executive order to do that. What we got was a tweet saying, "I'm going to do this. We want this to happen."
Okay.
He got a verbal. Yeah, that's not an executive order.
Right. So surely the pressure in Washington, D.C. should now be on to get the executive order created, drawn up, and signed by the President of the United States to force the release of the files. So I'm coming from an over the pond UK point of view.
Yes.
I find USA politics quite complicated. UK, all politics is relatively complicated depending on what system you have. But I think the point is, when eventually this tranche or cache of documentation comes out, if I can say cache, see it as in CAA, like a cache of documents, right?
Like cache, yeah.
Is it going to be pure fabrication? Is it going to be something? Is it going to be a very small, very meager file? It's like one page. No, they're not.
Or are they going to say, like they did with the Epstein stuff, nothing's there. You don't need to be looking at this. There's nothing. There's nothing to see.
I think there'd be a portion of the community that would go, irrespective of what they're told, yes or no. They are firmly in the yes campaign. Yes, I believe. Not I want to believe, but I believe. And it's kind of like
you're going to have all the experiencers are going to go, that's bullshit. I mean, I'm an experiencer. I'm going to go, that's BS. If they say that, because I know that I've seen really, really anomalous things. I've experienced really, really anomalous things in my life. And I'm not crazy, and I don't have any of the problems that someone with a psychosis would have. That's what happened to me, and I know other people that's had happened to. And we know the minority of us that have had that kind of thing go down. We know that there's something else there. We don't know what it is exactly. It morphs and changes depending on the person it interacts with. And that makes it really, really difficult to pin it down to what it exactly is. And that's why I'm really going with the multiple things hypothesis, where there's not just one thing, there are multiple things. And they may all have different agendas. And they may be in opposition to each other. We don't know.
Could I assume that you're hopeful that things will become more transparent, more open, and any information that is held behind
every experiencer that I know, I am hopeful that the world catches up to the things and believes in the things and starts looking at the things that I've seen. I hope they start seeing it for themselves. I hope that they will, if they don't see it, I hope that they will start taking our testimony of what we have experienced seriously. And I hope that we are no longer the butt of the joke.
Yeah. I recently I had some official paperwork, and with the President of the United States coming out and making that statement on Air Force One, I feel a little bit more vindicated for the paperwork comment, absolutely, Cough-Bomb. I think most of us, a good percentage of us are on board with what you said 100%, and you're speaking from a place of heart and truth, so and as somebody who's been in this arena for a while, you've seen more like nothing burgers than a lot of people have.
They're not all demons, and they're not all angels, and they're not all love and light. Neither are they all about eating us because we taste good. There's a mix. I think personally, now I have no proof of this, from my interactions with whatever that stuff is, I believe that there are multiple types of thing that we are dealing with, and they may not be from, like I say, they may not be from another planet, they may not be from another dimension, they may be from this planet and have evolved alongside us, but they're camouflaged from us. That may be the case. I don't know. And in order to camouflage yourself, then you could then tell people, well, I'm not from here, I'm from Mars, or I'm from Venus, or I'm from Pluto, or I'm from this other star. And then, so then if you're living here among us and you say, well, I'm not really from here, I'm from somewhere else, that's just better camouflage for them, because then we don't look right next door to us. We start looking out there for them. I don't know. It's very complicated, and whatever we get is not going to tell the whole story, because even those in the know don't know everything, and they don't know the whole story. I really don't believe they do. I don't think they can. I think they're limited by human intelligence.
Right. Yeah. Know your limits, right?
Well, we've got another one coming up. Now we're getting into more of the darker topics right now. We'll do this one, and then the one that you wanted me to download, George.
Yeah. I wanted to come back on John Melendez from LinkedIn's comment about neurolinguistic programming, but we'll move on to that. Please hang around for that. I'm looking forward to having a little discourse.
Come up to me that were targeted individuals that were being one day they're normal, and the next day they're being hit with symptoms of schizophrenia or symptoms of severe anxiety, and they've actually come up and pleaded with me for help. There's a lot of people out there that this is happening to. Carol Warner, the lady I talked about, who's treating some of these people, has multiple patients coming in that have been subjects of MK Ultra, and she's as a therapist, she's absolutely convinced. So there's a lot of people out there that are suffering from this, and some of them have gotten together with targeted individual groups, and it's tough because I've met some of them. I'm convinced that they are being hit with these weapons. A former NASA scientist and his wife came up to me, and I was absolutely, they were being hit. And then other people, you don't know if, is this a chemical imbalance, or, well, if they didn't have the chemical imbalance one day and the next morning they do, okay, then something's going on there. So with secret programs, it's like reaching out in the dark trying to find the cause, which is why the system is so.
Yeah. So we had that one come out right now. They're talking about CIA, secret programs, MK Ultra, and then out of the blue, you give me this one, this clip.
This came by way of Duracraft, and special shout out to Tupacabra on X.
No entry or exit wound. How they're designed is to make the target feel like they're crazy, like they're imagining things, especially on the low duration, the low intensity, long duration hits.
Are either of you aware of any individuals who have AHI symptoms have passed away from their ailments? do.
Whoa.
I do.
Oh.
Have any of you three panelists ever seen one of these weapons?
I have seen a 1991 version of the weapon, and it looks like a satellite dish with a unit this size attached to it. And of course, over the years, miniaturization has been possible. Obviously, there's a limitation to how miniaturized it can be because of the antenna size, which is always related to the wave. But still, it is something that can be well contained in the trunk of a car or even a large backpack.
A weapon with low intensity and low duration can make you go crazy. They exist. Right? So when somebody
100%.
when somebody comes out with something and you're like, oh my god, that sounds like off the cuff, and then they go crazy, you have to wonder what's being deployed on them, right?
If that exists in the world and that's directed, then they had to learn how to do that from something, so that it also exists in nature. So we don't know what exactly the signal is or how it's attenuated. But if it's electromagnetic, then we live in an electromagnetic world, and an earthquake could cause that. It could be from something else. It could be it exists somewhere out there in the wild. It doesn't just exist in that weaponized form.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Coffee Bum, for bringing that up, because it goes right into our next video, which is a video with Gene Sticko. We just did this with Gene a couple weeks back. We had him on here about a week back, actually. What happened with, an update on his family and everything. And this is what he says about mycotoxins, about natural toxins.
And then the other interesting discovery off of it, as I looked up each of these molds and what they can do, in asking that question, do they have a history of weaponization or whatever? The answer popped right back. Oh yes, this is something the KGB's been known to do and gave cases, and the CIA was doing it and supposedly had to stop at some time in the 70s or 80s. And when Iraq weaponized stuff, this was I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, actually, I sent you a clip. Me and you were talking before this. It was the CIA has mass mind control program, which it's a little out there, but the key example between the two cases, between yours and this, were very, very similar. And I just wanted to play that 1 minute clip real quick.
Yeah. Key for the base. And within 3 months.
Yeah, we'll get to that clip next. I actually had the full clip of that.
For the base. And within 3 months, everybody started getting desperately ill. My kids' throats were swelling up. I had to take them to emergency room a couple times. We were having severe headaches. My wife was basically bedridden with dementia. There was something we knew there was a poison in that house. It wound up being, the house was riddled through the walls with black mold. It was also leaking what's a mycotoxin, which is a chemical weapon that Saddam Hussein used in Iraq. It was the yellow rain. I found that leaking in the ceiling, and the only way you can find it that the CIA didn't count on was I researched and found a black light will cause these mycotoxins to grow iridescent green. So I hit the ceiling with the black light, and sure enough, there were mycotoxins leaking in, which is a neurotoxin, leaking in through the ceiling.
Leaking in through the ceiling, and that puts us right into
explaining, the symptoms and everything a little more. One of the regulars back there, who works in HVAC, said, "Do you have mold in the house?" Because he'd seen, situations like that. He's like, "You got black mold." Like, I couldn't imagine we did, but all right, let's check it out. Got people there the next day and talked to the and so that's when they first found the initial spores in and around her music room primarily. the largest concentration. And, right on the phone to the doctors, like, hey, check for toxicity for mold. And then it was like, boom. And it just all came together.
It's real dirty tricks, drive the person, give them suppressed immune system, drive them crazy, make them feel bad, and they'll destroy themselves, and people will be looking on thinking that they're
crazy,
not quite right. But then, I mean, like, really, what the clip earlier, I did notice on that panel in congressional hearing, the gentleman in the middle, his top button was undone, and he's the one who gave the nod, said, yeah, I do know that people have passed away from these things. So it's like, it's a wild world.
What was the name of that woman scientist that died a while back? People keep saying that she was hit with one of those weapons. I can't remember call her name right now, but she worked in the anti-gravity field.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't think of her name.
Yeah, her name escapes me at the moment.
But yeah, I know who you're talking about. The girl who passed away doing anti-gravity research and really heavy into it.
Yeah, maybe somebody inside chat can bring up, or like I can hear Googling intensify.
Yeah. And then we have Representative Eric Burlison coming out again and saying multiple people have told him that the Tic Tac UFO is Lockheed Martin technology, and he's seen photos of it.
Few people come to me that say that the Tic Tac is a Lockheed Martin creation. The latest person that came to me says he has,
again, thank you, UAP James,
video of the first, second, and third iteration of the Tic Tac, and he's going to show me. So I'm trying to set that up. The way he describes it is that they had a prototype, they've made changes to it, they've made it more advanced, and then now it's in iteration number 3, which I did see a photo of, and it looks like pretty advanced military like craft, like a plane, but it's clearly human made. It's nothing that I've ever seen, our military has, but his claim is that they have discovered a propulsion that's a new type of propulsion. They used it in the first iteration, which was the Tic Tac. They have an intermediary one that they are more advanced with, and then now they're putting it inside of what looks conventional, so that it's not obvious.
Disguise. Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying eventually the tech makes its way into things that we're already familiar with.
Well,
right.
So the tech makes it into things that we're already familiar with, which makes sense. That's how they get the, it out.
Convergence and integration of over the horizon technologies with current optics, camouflage, looks 100%. Like a plane, but it's not.
Oh, that woman's name was Amy Eskridge.
That's who it is. There you go.
And
I had to look it up. I googled.
And she was working. What I mean, like I'm relatively, so she was working on some anti-gravity technology, and what happened? Where did she go?
Mysterious death, and had some problems before her death, where it seems like other people have come forward and testified that they were with her and they were all hit with one of those directed energy weapons. So I don't know. Who knows? It's one of those mysterious things that keeps popping up. There's no explanation.
It's strange when it's just strange. It's difficult to say one way or the other due to the nature of these technologies as well. I think that's the thing. If somebody flips out and goes crazy, like it was said, is it just them, their neuron, their mind just snapping, or is it something outside?
I think that ultra low frequency sound can have an impact on the way people feel, and I mean that's been shown to be true. It does. And with our modern world, there's all these sounds going on around us all the time. And if you can get a standing wave in an apartment building and it's focusing in and it's affecting these 3 or 4 places, then the people that are sensitive to that stuff would feel uncomfortable all the time, and it would drive them nuts. But that's just from the actual environmental noise all mixing together and attenuating to hit that one spot. And subways and fans and all that kind of crap, it can all have an effect.
One thing I remember is there was a boulevard, a avenue in France, and it's a 50-kilometer speed limit, and people were crashing for no reason at all, except they're only crashing on a certain point of the year at a certain time of day, and they couldn't figure out why until they realized that the spacing of the trees equidistant between each other, with the light from the sun at a certain point on the day would shine through into the driver's eyeballs and flash, a stroboscopic effect causing them to fall asleep at the wheel and crash. So as well as auditory frequencies or extra low frequency, there's also stroboscopic light frequency effects that can affect the human physiology.
And a lot of the UFO sightings have involved the different. They all talk about the lights, and the one that I saw, it was the light was weird, and I lost time, so I don't know what it did. We don't know.
Maybe the lights themselves are a form of defense and or offensive capability platform thing, maybe potentially.
Well, again, using an analogy of the ocean and fish, I mean, when we send a submersible all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, and there's no light down there, they all create their own light. And we start using those heavy floodlights and shining around. I often wonder what it does to them. What that energy does to them. Does it hurt them? Does it freak them out? I mean, that may be an analogy to look at for humans and UFO interaction.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm just looking for a video right now to show of that one that I wanted to show about the craft.
Just inside chat, a little special shout out to Yellow Tommy Tanker. He writes he's not had any UFO incidents happen recently. I'm curious about the other ones, but I think I had a ghostly or poltergeist incident at his home last Tuesday. Hopefully it's a temporary incident, and we've had discussions about how the phenomena is not mutually exclusive, but could be quite inclusive, with things following you back from.
Often people who have had UFO experiences have that kind of thing as well. And so that is not an uncommon thing to have happen to you. I've had it happen to me, and other people that I know who are experiencers have had it happen to them as well. So it's all part of the same soup,
part and parcel.
And Coffee Bum, I did this one just for you because I know you're gonna rant about it. I did it on purpose.
God.
Don't start him off.
I did it on purpose.
Don't rise.
Stephen Greer says that he wrote President Trump's disclosure speech.
Have essentially written a speech for the president to deliver if he decides to do this. I want to quote just the first line. My fellow Americans and all citizens of Earth, it has come to our attention that extraterrestrial civilizations of great technological advancement have been visiting Earth for some time. Could you see President Trump being the first president to step to the podium and deliver a speech like that?
I do, and apparently his daughter-in-law believes so as well. And I think the reason for that is that there are so many pressures about this subject coming out in the next few months that delaying it much longer would not be proper. And I've advised in a briefing we did for the White House that they do not want to be behind the curve on this. They want to not have it come out through other countries or in some other way, asymmetrically, let's say, and they want to be ahead of this. So I think it looks like it is picking up steam, and Of course, what actually gets decided by the president, I'm not privy to per se, not directly, but I do think this is coming on a fast track right now.
So he wrote President Trump's disclosure speech, Coffee Bum?
Well, I bet Lou also wrote one. I want to see Stephen Greer and Lou Elizondo in a room together, both of them giving a briefing to the same people at the same time.
That would be just that would
be entertainment. That would be entertainment. That's high theater.
We've got a video that came to us from we won't say the source, but it was a friend of mine who went out and into the Arizona desert, and took a night vision shot out of a monocular, videotaping it, and was in an area that he definitely shouldn't have been. And no, there's no sound, so we can talk during it if you want to. He's trying to get the monocular steady now.
When I first saw this, I thought it was a craft shooting a beam down to the ground. Because can you scroll back about 5 seconds? There's a flash on the ground of there. Did you see it there? That's a doorway. What is that doorway?
The doorway is there. Listen, if you have say you have like pilots, you want to go back and forth, right? And you have this kind of doorway there. It's like stairs that go up to the plane.
Right. Okay. So I think when you showed me this earlier, you said it's not a craft beaming stuff down to the ground.
No.
It's what appears to be the beam to the ground is actually a strut or
it's a solid structure with the craft on top of it. And what they're doing here in the desert is they put the craft on top and they test out with electromagnetic signals around it whether or not they can detect this craft in the air. If they can't, then the metallic materials or the meta materials that are around that craft are reacting accordingly, and then they can have this now it works correctly. It doesn't show up on radar, doesn't show up on this. Let's take it down now.
Shows up on infrared.
Well, obviously, but he sits there and he records this. Now this craft is up there, right? And it's being, obviously there's people on the ground there. You can see them. There's lights. There's, now he's definitely in an area that he shouldn't have been in. Okay. So
and then he's like, hold on, there's something coming to my left here. What's that? That's a car, a bit of height, like she not move.
It's a Jeep. It's a Jeep, and I think it's security forces that are patrolling the area.
But what is that? What is that above the ground? It looks. Is it is that a triangular shape? Craft?
That I couldn't tell you with the grainage of the footage.
Yeah,
but
it's something.
There is
some testing.
Yeah. Whoa. There. So it's a triangular craft. There you go.
Looks. I don't know. That's very, very hard to see. Very hard to tell.
Yeah. Could it be faked?
Could be a triangle. Could be something like a Sikorsky helicopter because they had the bulbous nose and the long tail. Could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, and I keep telling this every time, please keep your secret aircraft in your hangars at all time when satellites are going by.
Oh, that's the is that the space plane? Is that the one that went dark? We had
Dark Star in it.
Yep, that's supposedly the Dark Star.
Is that the SR-72? Is the 72 or is the 72 the Aurora? Or is the Aurora Dark Star?
Aurora, isn't it?
Well, the space plane, I don't know what the nomenclature was for that thing. I forget, but we had a program that was absolutely public and absolutely not dark. But then it went dark, and all the information of it was deleted from online sources because it's now doing long duration missions in outer space.
Yeah. That's why it went dark.
Yeah, so I don't know what, I can't remember the name of the thing. I had to use a computer and pull that up, but it was completely above board and completely in the public eye. And I don't even remember who made the damn thing. It's been years ago since this thing went dark like that.
Yeah.
But then it went dark, it just disappeared. And it's the same thing that they're using to do the long duration space flights with.
That's kind of funny.
It's unmanned as far as we know, and it stays up there for months at a time.
X-37B.
Possibly. Yeah, it's one of the X programs.
Yeah, Boeing X-37B, reusable, uncrewed, and highly secretive space plane.
Mm-hmm.
US is now in the custody of US Space Force.
Yeah, well, it went from
it was NASA, wasn't it?
No, it went to the Air Force. I think it went into the military, and then that branch of the Air Force became Space Force. I think.
And well, let's see here. There's other stuff that we have coming up here. We are also in the process right now of receiving supposed UFO crash material from the UK.
Excellent.
From the UK, all right? Yep.
That's good stuff, Jay. I'm really glad you're getting that and getting it tested.
Yes, as soon as we get it, I'm sending it off to different labs to get it tested. We have confirmation now that, I have confirmation the person has it. It's locked up tight, and as soon as I can get a chance to grab it, I'm going to and get it out to a lab.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
There may be labs that will help you test that. If you reach out in the community, there may be people who will help you do that for free. I don't know. Just work your contacts on that.
Yeah.
I do know that having stuff tested like that at university, it does cost money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unsure about the cost of that. I've had samples sent out myself, and some of them have cost quite a bit of money, and some of them people have actually blessed me with some electron microscope time.
Oh, nice.
And some, so we shall see. I hope you get it tested and you can find out what it's made of.
Yeah, and that's why I said to George, either way we get it tested, we're gonna put it out. It's alien technology that has little microchips in it, or it's mundane. It has this, but we're gonna show it. Here's the research.
Well, see, the thing about that is that people keep imagining that alien technology is going to be made of layers, or it's going to have microchips in it, or it's going to have fiber optic in it. Those are all human things. And their technology is going to be so advanced that it might look to us like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's going to be other than what we imagine it is. It may look like it's solid metal. It may look like it's mundane stuff, but still, it may still have those properties. We don't know for sure. But all these people keep talking about the metamaterials and the layers. I don't know that they are layered. I don't know that they're layered in a way that we could even see with our technology, because their technology is impossibly advanced. And if it's impossibly advanced, then it's impossible for us to imagine it or to see how it's put together. So, just find out. If there may be a classification, it may come up as just a standard aircraft grade sandwich board with standard human tech, and that may be the case. It may come up with it may come up as something that's just a little bit off from normal, and so you don't know for sure. We don't know.
So yeah, on that level, obviously, I was going to say, Jay, can we invite Coffee Bum to come and talk about some of his experiences and a specific object that he's in his possession? I think
sure. Right after Well, let's watch this video real quick, and then we'll get into that real quick.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I just want to say that this is now. I'm not sure if anything's going to come out, guys. I just show it because it's something. You know, Chris Bledsoe keeps saying about this date that's coming up, and I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to talk about.
I think we're going to learn some things between now and then that's going to shock us all. I think disclosure is going to come more real. The government's going to reveal more things. I have a little birdie telling me that Egypt is about to release something this year that's going to rewrite history.
Is that right?
Yeah.
From the Y-Files, thank you. He says this year something is going to be released in Egypt that's going to just rewrite all of history.
It's funny when people stand up and it's not funny when people stand up and give solid dates or something's going to happen soon somewhere that will change something someplace. It's like, okay. For example, you know, I needed to mention this. So I'm going to segue very quickly into it. Boogosphere 2.0 released. I found out about this morning. The kind of new sphere orb that was discovered with the symbol on it. But I think yeah, concerning Mr. Bledsoe saying so doesn't necessarily mean so.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't always mean so. Well, what do you think, Coffee Bomb?
I thought that was catchy.
Like
I thought that was a good
coming out with
soundbite.
dates saying like, "Hey, you know, this is a date I think about," or is it just nonsense? I don't know. We just got to wait and see.
Look, there's enough followers of Chris Bledsoe that if none of his dates actually hit the mark, he will still have followers and he will still have people believe in what he's saying. I don't think the man is lying. I think he is sincere about what he believes. I believe that he's had some really wild stuff happen to him. And I believe that other people have documented enough of that I can say, yes, he's an experiencer and he does have things happen. But he also has some things go down that may be like me. I go out there and look up in the sky and I see stuff buzzing around. I think orbs. It may be satellites. You know, I may be getting fooled. Yeah. I may be fooling myself that this is what this is. So I got to be careful about that. And I think Chris is a really sincere guy. I really do. I think he's had some weird stuff happen, and I hope that he's correct. Now, to rewrite history, I see headlines about that every day on YouTube, how this is rewriting history and this is changing everything. And this is there's stuff like that going on all the time. We just had another dinosaur skeleton pop up, another type of Spinosaurus with a horn on its nose. And that's rewriting history somehow. Well, it's just another chapter to history. And if Egypt comes out with something and they've adjusted their timeline, yeah, that'll rewrite history, but it may be in a timeline adjustment. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah,
it may not be that there are giant caverns under the pyramids. It may be something. It may be that this pharaoh was not really the pharaoh, that this was all a lie, and we've got evidence of this. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, there could be too many prophets, you know. There could be too many.
The thing about phenomena that it doesn't see time like we see time. It doesn't experience things like we experience it. It does it in a different way, and it's also got to transmit that knowledge down into a human vessel who thinks differently than it does. So the way we translate it to ourselves is going to actually change the message from what it's saying. So there's always the human factor involved with that when you're talking about that kind of thing.
Yep, solid statement right there. Solid statement.
I think we will end on Nick Pope. We're going to end on him.
Always good.
Coming out with Trump about disclosure. We'll end with that. And
government investigating UFOs. Good to see you, Nick. Haven't seen you for about 20 years or something of that nature. Nice to have you on with us. Of course, you would have signed the Official Secrets Act back in the day. For the purpose of this interview, can you just forget all of that official secret stuff and tell us where the real meat of this one? How much does Starmer really know to start with? Because our last guest referred to that. Would a British Prime Minister be aware if there were things up?
What's up?
I said that's a good question because a lot of the focus in the community is on the United States. And right the way back at the beginning of this episode of this podcast, we were saying about would it have the same impact if a smaller nation came out with their UFO file first? Like, you know, pick a random smaller European nation or African nation or whatever. If they came out with their details, their secrets, would it have the same impact as President of the United States? I don't know. So this gentleman's question of like how you know, what does Sir Keir Starmer, Prime Minister, know? Would he be informed? Would he be briefed? Yeah, sorry, Jay.
Oh no, you're good.
I'm not sure that he would be. I think that the United States is very much the leading authority when it comes from this. When it comes to this subject, we actually know from declassified documents that the Five Eyes intelligence sharing alliance held a meeting. It was chaired, of course, by the Pentagon, May 2023. The Ministry of Defense sent 2 officials. I'm not even sure the Prime Minister is aware of that. I'm not even sure the Defense Committee is aware of that. Parliament should be asking questions because the UK does know some things, but it's very much playing second fiddle to the Americans, as always.
Yeah.
Second fiddle to the Americans. It's always about us first, right? Like, why?
Well, you know, like, hey, you're a big friend, right? It's just like, you know, like
I think we're a big bully too sometimes.
Probably with British egging you on in the background, right?
What do you make of these latest sort of 2 events, really? You know, Barack Obama making these comments on a podcast. I know it's interesting. He said there's definitely nothing in Area 51. So that would suggest if he definitely knows there's nothing there, or certainly no aliens there, clearly it exists for a reason, Area 51. But he's obviously he's been briefed enough to know then that there's nothing there, which means he's in on this conversation.
Oh, I have absolutely no doubt that it really is the first question that every president asks when they get into the Oval Office. In fact, I remember Bill Clinton going on a chat show some years ago, and he said there were 2 things I wanted to know when I first took up office: who shot JFK, and what's the truth about UFOs? So every president asks, every president probably gets the briefing, but only a second-term populist like Trump could probably be the one to actually blow this out of the water. So I'm really glad that he's personally engaged on this now. And once Trump says he's going to do something, I mean, he's not that moved by public opinion or criticism. He's just like, if I want to do something, I'll do it. And he's put his mind to this. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, but you know, even though Trump is, he's sort of the rebellious president, doesn't go by the usual rules, speaks off the cuff. I always think, Nick, there's got to be a bit of Trump somewhere where he takes the whole thing. You know, he's ultimately a businessman. He does probably underneath it take it quite seriously. So if somebody said to him, Mr. President, there's some stuff here that we really can't make public, I don't imagine Trump going, no, sod that. I'm going to let everybody know that the little green men are living all over the place. What do you think?
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, I think the combination of his age and the fact that he probably wants to cement his legacy in history, if ever there is a smoking gun in the files, I think this is the time when he might just be tempted to say, you know what? The deep state can say what they like, the critics can say what they like, but I'm just going to be Trump and do my thing.
Yeah,
I like that. Be Trump and do my thing.
So good to see Nick kind of still like even during his illness.
But you have multiple reports on that.
All right, hold on one second. I'm just getting to a point here.
So good to see Nick.
Yes, it is. It's very good.
That's true. But it's also the same time that people are out looking for their dealer as well, isn't it? So, I mean, maybe people's memories are a little bit fuzzy. Who knows? But you have multiple reports on that.
Multiple reports. The Ministry of Defense file, which is declassified and at the National Archives, is over an inch thick. I mean, I think there's 100+ documents.
That's amazing. And do you share our previous guest, Mark's thoughts on Rendlesham? Because that's always been, books have been written about that, documentaries have been made, former military personnel have spoken very openly about what they experienced that night. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's the real deal. We know from the files, and I know from colleagues, that the Americans actually took evidence back to the Commander-in-Chief, United States Air Force in Europe, and the Ministry of Defense were furious about that. So maybe we'll get our evidence back.
We will see. On a separate note, Nick, I mean, I said,
thievery.
The first time I met you was
Give us our UFO back.
Years ago, because you used to come on James Wells' show on a regular basis, and what fun we had. He'd whip out a tin of lagers, and it was always great, and you would tell these similar stories. I know you've had a bit of a bumpy road in the health department in the last few months. How are you? How is that all going?
Well, soldiering on, but the prognosis isn't too good. So let's just say I want to see this one pushed over the line.
Yeah, and absolutely right.
Amen. You know what? I'm with Nick on that. I want to see it pushed over the line so that he can see it.
Yeah.
Not just him. All those old guys, the old guard, man. The old guard.
Yes.
Him, George Knapp, Linda Moulton Howe.
Yeah.
All those people who have been doing this stuff for years and reporting on this stuff for so many years,
being ridiculed.
Being ridiculed, but being in the fringe, being they did a whole lot of work, and then they put their hearts and souls into this. Now they have made some money, and there's nothing wrong with that.
They have a family.
They have a family. They gotta eat. They gotta support themselves, and if they can do it by reporting on this kind of thing or writing books, there's nothing wrong with that. People are really quick to throw the grifter line around. Now, I see a lot on YouTube. We've seen it recently with the Buka Tube stuff, with whatever that guy's name was. I
say wait till the evidence comes out and make your own decision.
Yeah, one sensational YouTube video does not a story make.
Yes.
It's really is an interesting time. Fame, infamy, hoaxing, not hoaxing, cutting through AI, deep fakes, and all the rest of it. And then in the middle of it, all of this is official paperwork, official documentation, official speeches, official proclamations, and everything seems to be converging in some form or another. And my hope is that if it becomes apparent to the consensual reality, the majority of us here on planet Earth, that we're not alone, and because there'll be some people you can't convince, there'll be some people that if there isn't anything, you won't be able to convince them otherwise that there isn't. So it does feel a little bit like wait and see till next time.
I have a little we have two things at the end of this, so we will we're going to end the podcast here soon, but I have a great announcement. So first, the announcement will be what's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Neuro Frontier between mind and machine. February 27th, that's tomorrow at 4 p.m. We have my good friend Dave Siegel here. He won the Consumer Electronics
Innovation Award 2026. So, detailing a neural interface with some earbuds. I've got like questions on a bit of paper. I'm looking forward to speaking to your friend who's coming on the show tomorrow. It's going to be a great show. Naki Logics. Go and check out the website. Maybe get a pre-order in now if you want to hands-free type or control your drones without typing or interfacing with electronics without using your physicality, but just using your brainwaves.
Can I use them in the bank?
Probably. One of the questions I want to ask. Yeah, it could be like, please insert your buds now for verification.
No. If I walk in a bank, could I like transfer some money from one place to another, just theoretically?
Theoretically, yeah. Theoretically, if you combined those with your Ray-Ban augmented reality glasses, right? So now you start adding the
there you go.
Here's your screen. So now you're doing online banking while you're walking, using your brainwaves to move money around, right?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
we've got that one coming up, and last bit of information, which I just got told today. Actually,
we're not sponsored by Ray-Ban, by the way.
No, we're not, but we are sponsored by somebody that everybody knows, Nick Pope.
Okay. Oh wow!
Nice.
Nick is going to be coming out with a special message for the Galactic family, only for us. Within the next day or two, he says he's feeling a little bit better. He's going to be giving us about a 10-minute video for members only. I'll put it out to us, and it's for the Galactic family, based on the Galactic family, and he wants to tell us a little bit about for his vision for the future for the Galactic Family podcast, what we can do better, and what we're doing now that he says is phenomenal. And we'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Well, if Nick is tuned in, thank you, Mr. Pope, for your service and your continuing service. We all love you.
We do, and we appreciate your work and everything you've done to get us closer to disclosure. I believe that, in the next few months, even next few weeks, we should be hearing something down the grapevine of what's going on. Like, press your government, all right? Just like
Yep. Write to your MPs, write to your Congress, write to your Senate, write to your representatives, write to your council folk, write to your mayors,
just
emails.
Right. Who is it? I'm trying to think. Paradigm Institute says, write your congressman. That's what I say. Write your congressman, write them. Paradigm Institute wants to get this information out too. Let's get the information out. Call your congressman, write them, tell them we want this out. It's our information. We paid for it.
Yeah, we get petitions together, get groups of signatories, go out, canvass, and we as a people can move things forwards in that vision that we have to find out more.
And
that's really good news, Jay. That's fucking excellent news about Nick Pope. I'm really stoked to see that, and I really appreciate his work too. And thanks, guys, for having me on. And let me ramble. I appreciate it.
No. Like really nice to have you on board for a good watch of the show, Coffee Bum, and continuing friendship. Keep on keeping on. Don't give up. Don't change. Awesome, Jay.
Yeah. And we'll end the stream there. And without that, we will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Great episode with my great friend, Dave Siegel. Besides that, have a great afternoon, great morning, great evening, wherever you are in the world or in the universe, because I know that we got some aliens watching.
This thing is real. It can't be.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
There is no spoon.
Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the world.
UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead.
My name is Nick Pope, formerly from the British UFO Desk, and you're listening to the Galactic Family Podcast.
The signal has been received. The truth is still unfolding. The signal will continue with you.